Alright, everybody, this is Elias. Thank you all for joining me today for the KTANE League Season 1 finals for the modded team category. This is the finals round between the Iris's Irish Wristwatch Washers, IIWW from now on, and the Darkstorm Legends, DSL. Uh, um, um, okay, yeah. Um, One second. Having some technical difficulties. Having some technical difficulties here. Alright, guys, sorry for the delay. This is Elias5891. We're here for the KTANE League Finals. Hello, Rex. This is the modded team category between IIWW, Iris's Irish Wristwatch Washers, and Darkstorm Legends, DSL. I will be doing some of the commentating, but I have two co-commentators with me. Kat, if you'll like to introduce yourself first.
But hello everyone, I'm actually a part of Darkstorm Legends, and I did participate in only one of the bombs, so not sure if that is a good thing or not.
Yes, Catnip did participate in the first of the three bombs, did not participate in the other two, does not know exactly how those came out, does not know the results, so she will be going in unspoiled as well. We also have Timwe. Go ahead, Timwe.
Hello, everybody. My name is Tim Wei. I'm one of the modders, but I have not followed the league, so I'm going in completely blind as well. I'm excited to find out what's going to happen.
Alright, we had some other potential commenters who were not ready when we started. We may bring one or two of them in if they show up later. Maybe. We will see. But for now, this is our little commentator group. So commentators may switch, yes. So for this one, if you've not been following the league, the modded team category consisted of originally 5 teams, with the top 4 going on to finals. Unfortunately, in the second week, we lost the Widget Spinners team after 3 of their 4 members withdrew. And we also lost the second team, whose name escapes me actually at the immediate moment.
Mine as well,
It wasn't
unfortunately.
Team
The
Red,
Voice
was
Crackers, that's correct. The Voice Crackers.
Yeah.
right.
Which, after a couple of their members also were unable to consistently match up on timings, they withdrew, which dropped us to a 3-person or a 3-team league. As a result, we did 4 weeks. Each team got to take their 3 best weeks. Top one goes to the finals. The other 2 have to do a head-to-head face-off to make it to the finals. Turns out that IIWW and Darkstorm Legends both had perfect scores after dropping their worst week, having split 2 of the 4 weeks and then winning 1 of the others each. They had a tiebreaker to see who went straight to the finals. IIWW won that, which is why they had the top seed. Then DSL was able to beat Rock Dude, Average Joe, and their team. Sadly,
The average Joes, I believe, right?
the Average Joes was their team, but
Yeah.
for the semifinals, those two members were actually the only ones who were able to participate. So it was a little bit a little more unbalanced than one might hope. But that did lead
Yeah,
to these two teams coming into the finals. Go ahead, Kat.
I was about just to say that yes, having only one expert for that semifinal week was harsh, and I personally give a lot of credit to that team just for being able to finish at least some of the bombs. That's definitely taxing on one expert.
It definitely is, and they did an excellent show of it. I probably actually, after I put this particular video on YouTube, will try to find some of the semifinal bombs because a lot of them have a very similar structure to these. So you can see how those two players did, just the two of them. It was very impressive. Very impressive. Thank
I'll
you for
try
that
to have more fun,
headphone,
please.
Rex. I can also modify the audio input output on my end. Kat, would you mind saying something? See if the volume's a little better.
Saying something, let's see if I'm more bearable to listen to, which is a feat in itself.
Alright, we got the. We'll wait for some input. While we do, just to give you a heads up, we're going to be seeing all three videos if needed. If one team finishes early and the match is or the particular bomb is decided, we will still watch the other one finish, but at a slightly faster pace. That way, we don't have a bunch of just watching one team when we know the outcome. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and pull up the first of the bombs. For this first bomb, Catnip, you actually participated in that one. Would you like to
Yeah.
kind of briefly describe what was in this first bomb here?
That it feels like it was quite some time ago, so I don't remember fully, but I yeah, yeah. Sorry, it just escapes my mind. It was like 2 weeks ago almost.
That's all right.
It's
That's
past
all
week and
right.
a half at least. So yeah.
For this one, it was an 18 widget bomb, 22 and 30, with a heavy majority of the modules having something to do with edge work. So all of those widgets became a kind of significant, kind of an important factor.
I might even call it all of the modules being having to deal with edge work.
Yeah, all of them
And
had to
of
do
course
with.
that was
Yes, you are right. All of them, at very least, required the serial number, if not a more detailed one.
if not more,
Also,
yeah.
yes, audience, that was Baby Panda Alex. He apparently woke up from his nap as we started this and wanted
It
to say
gets to
hello to
appear.
everyone.
Hello, baby.
Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and play this one. You have the Irish team on the left,
Can I just
DSL on the right. Yep, go ahead, Timmy.
can I just comment here? So I had no idea the number of modules, the number of widgets in that. So that's quite a surprise to me. So I'm very excited to see where this is going. Here we go.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It is an interesting one. Alright, let's go ahead and play this one. Now, I would like to state that for the Iris's team, Zakil was the diffuser in all four, or in all of their bombs, but had issues recording audio directly. One of the other team members recorded the audio, but did not get that to me prior to now. So all of the audio is going to be on the Darkstorm Legends side, because I was not given the audio for the other side. Alright, here we go.
Okay.
Let's get these synced up.
And here we see the start of the bomb. We can already see a plethora of widgets. We can see the players shuffling around, trying to make heads and tails of this enormous number of widgets.
Unlit SIG, unlit Mike Sierra Alpha, unlit Car.
Yeah, if you haven't practiced, that's definitely
Did I
hard
say
for the
unlit
first couple
November
times.
SA? I'm just
Yes.
okay, great. For ports we have a single parallel port and 3 RCA, 2 DVI, 1 PS2 and 1 RJ. total
So
of
Legend counts up
5
all of
plates,
the
1 is
different
empty.
port types instead
Serial
of
number
enumerating
is
the port plates.
6
Interesting.
Charlie 0, Echo Uniform 7. Right, okay, stage 1 of Forget
And
Me Not
that's
is a
the edge
7.
work done.
Right,
We
Drake,
have a
it's
Forget
spinning
Me Not.
clockwise. Green
1 full minute
20,
to get the edge work
round,
down.
round. Cat, Alpha equals 8, Yankee. TW, 24, 25, and your fast math is Papa November. Cat, do you want me to stack you anything else?
If you want, sure, I'm fine.
Okay. Drake, any questions?
I just need a confirmation of ports after DVI.
Ports after the DVI by
PS2 RG45.
and 3 RCA. And a single powder.
So we already have a bit of a delay there,
And
with a
3
bit of a
DVI,
miscommunication on the edge work.
2 DVI.
Yep.
1
Meanwhile,
parallel, 3
on the
RCA,
left
2
side,
DVI,
we can
1
see
PS2, 1 RJ.
safety
Yes.
save being administered.
Yeah, and there goes Legend preparing for safety safe as well. It's kind of interesting to see where each team starts, which modules.
Indeed, it
To
does.
answer your impending question,
Of course,
both
both of the bombs are
DVIs with
completely
RCA.
identical, so both of them will see the same modules, the same numbers on Forget Me Not everything.
Yes. You'll
Yeah,
notice this
serially,
particular
no,
bomb
it's
does
not
have
listed.
a missing spot. It's only got 22 modules instead of filling it up with 23. That is because the remaining module originally scheduled for that does not stay consistent across different computers.
Safety is set up. What'd you say, sorry?
And so to keep things consistent, we had to drop that one kind of last
Bravo.
minute.
Which module was that, out
X-ray
of
Yankee.
curiosity?
Minus
I
brackets,
believe
2
that one
plus
was
X-ray.
Morse Maze.
I think
Yes.
Yeah,
Morse Maze.
that was disabled.
TW,
Morse Maze is one of the modules that uses
quickly
the
give you some
rule
info.
modifier
The,
mod, so that may explain it, but we
image
don't
is
know.
via band.
We are now almost 3
Angry
minutes
Birds
in.
is
We do not have
normal
any
pig,
solved modules yet,
King Pig, Yellow Bird,
but
White
fast
Bird.
math has started on the left. The Iris wristwatch watches.
And this probably
okay,
goes without
input
saying,
gamepad.
but it was mandatory for teams to have the fast math set to 10-second timer,
Right, so just
and to have the
confirming,
ice cream
up,
set
down,
to
Bravo, right,
even minute
up,
cells
alpha,
only.
left, left.
Right,
We
does
have
on
our
Twitch.
first solved module.
Cat,
He for fast math.
2-0. 9 brackets Yankee over 2 excuse me equals Charlie
And we're seeing the
minus
first plumbing
X-ray
being
Yankee
tackled
all
by
over
Iris wristwatch washes. Excuse me.
Yep, X-ray Yankee over 4. Yep.
While Darkstorm Legend has not yet started. And now they are
Right, so,
starting.
go ahead.
Yeah, but plumbing is kind of module that, like you just saw, Legend just did a few segments there, and then you can come back to it anytime before you have the actual
Solve
input.
on gamepad, stage 3 is
So, Big Circle became the first solved module for the Darkstorm Legends, and immediately after
Normal and
another
King.
was solved. Was it
Sorry.
gamepad?
Yes,
Yes.
they'd punched it in, kind of waited a little bit to do a double check, which is
Left
never a bad thing.
is incorrect.
Ooh,
We have our first strike. Darkstorm Legends struck on the Angry Birds part of iPhone.
and a lot of people, commented, does a strike really matter in the league? As you can already see, the clock's starting to desync. As we get further and further along, assuming that the two teams keep a different number of strikes, let's see how far apart those timers actually get.
That will be interesting to see indeed.
Okay,
2-1?
Right, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
2-1, 7-5.
Solved. Stage 4
And
is a
the
9.
third solve for
Let's get
Darkstorm
you
Legend.
on Fizzbuzz.
Yep.
Red, blue, white. First one is 7102512.
Iris tackling the
8745.
iPhone. So they have
Last
fast
eight,
math, and then what done?
0089.
They have
And
fast math and RPS.
RSLPS.
Without the audio, it's a little harder to tell. But you kind of saw Iris flipping through the pictures for a little while in iPhone. Not quite as familiar with them to recognize that the band was the decoy on that one.
6 is a 7.
Got me murder, got
Yeah,
me
murder.
watch.
So, for those
Green,
unfamiliar,
Scarlet,
Fizzbuzz is one of the
Plum,
modules that depends
Peacock,
on the number of strikes. So I
Revolver,
guess it's wise
Scanner,
for Darkstorm
Dagger
Legends to
in
start
the
this
library.
now, before they reach their second
Also,
strike,
where
at
is
which point the
Where
solution
is
will
it?
change.
Logic is
Yeah, and I
not
remember I was
with
always paranoid, and during
and
practices
not
I
Foxtrot
usually kept checking,
and
like,
not
we don't have
Bravo.
2 strikes, right? Only one
Bravo
or
is
something like that.
Charlie, left and right arrows.
And yeah, like Elias
uniform,
mentioned, here I can see the
and
difference.
not
So,
not yellow rope.
Darkstorm
Indeed.
Legend has 2 more modules
iPhone.
solved, but half a minute behind the
Number
clock.
4.
Due to the
Phil
strike,
says
indeed.
9, mate.
Yeah.
Stop.
They have not tackled fast
Okay.
math.
Yeah, photos is that band I was talking about. Tinder, 1 strike. Yep. 25.
And have not
Cancer,
started ice cream,
badminton.
but
And
so
you can
has
see Iris.
not.
Go
Iris,
as you want.
excuse
Fizzbuzz.
me, I'm sorry.
Fizzbuzz.
Fizz
So has
number
not
Fizzbuzz.
Iris, actually.
Solved.
So
Stage
Iris's
7
Irish
is an 8.
wristwatch watches is
Currently
apparently
do,
starting to catch
resistors.
up on the number of solved modules. The
Blue,
Darkstorm
black,
Legends
blue,
is
yellow, black, blue.
still racing ahead.
TW.
Accept.
Still 2 modules.
32, Scorpio.
You can see the
Double
mouse
advantage.
movements while they read out the algebra.
I'm gonna need name.
5.
Accept.
30. Cancer. Theatre. Hamster.
Okay, 5 modules versus 6 modules, so almost there. And here you can see timer is off by
Number 6.
almost a minute.
And the iPhone is about to get solved.
9, 8,
Let's
6.
see if
Finished.
this works.
Stage
And
8
it
is
worked.
7.
We have the
Quickly do a
7th
word search.
solved module.
Uniform, Hotel, X-Ray, Oscar.
Uniform Hotel X-Ray Oscar.
Yep.
Resistors?
Yep.
Alpha, Delta through the top, and both bottoms. Yes, sir. Can you move?
Okay. Finished. Stage 9 is a 5.
Bit of a jolt on the camera zoom there.
Yeah, may as well do safety, yeah.
Yeah, you
We see Iris's Irish wristwatchers
Also,
are now
you
tackling the Fizzbuzz.
Somewhat but not really.
Because ice cream.
and yeah,
you ice cream quickly.
the downside or interesting aspect of using camera zoom is because this little overlay that gives you the clock and the
there is
information
an empty port plate.
is transparent. You sometimes see what's behind it, so it can be a little jarring to look at sometimes.
No.
Cookies and cream.
Yep. Simon.
Double strawberry.
Yes. Cheryl.
You can see the benefit of Chi-Chi's there. Ice cream for our team was being done interactively. This was a sort of late discovery, and it went by really quick.
Murder. Yes, let's do it.
And first time I've seen doing ice cream interactively.
Revolver. Kitchen.
Yeah,
Locked up.
cheat sheets
Stage
were
11
allowed in
is a
any
2.
form on this one,
Are you on anything
which has led to
else,
some
or-
really interesting things in the modded EFM category, especially.
Do,
But it does open
actually
up the
do,
possibilities on
painting,
some of
get
them.
that
Also, is why you won't be seeing LED encryption on any of the bombs tonight.
Echo, timer, false, unique.
Right, so now the module difference is 4, time
85,
minutes is
FAL-SE.
about minute 15.
False. Solved. Stage 12 is a 5. TW,
So-
get ready on that fast math.
Now it seems Darkstorm Legends have been catching up without that much disadvantage as they had before.
11, 6.
It seems that Darkstorm Legend have concentrated on the harder modules
6, you
first,
said was
including
the last one?
iPhone and Murder and,
Solved. Stage
and
13
stuff.
is
Whereas
a
on the
4.
left, we can see the Iris's Irish wristwatch washers
check my,
have solved
plumbing
some
and
of the
do,
easier
blind
ones,
alley.
like rock, paper, scissors, lizard,
Um,
Spock,
Yep, fast
and
math.
fast
let's
math,
do
I
this.
guess.
Alright. 89.
Finally, we see
89.
Darkstorm
X-ray.
Legend tackle the fast math. Here we go.
44, 8.
4-8. November.
3, 5.
Yeah, I think at that point both me and
Oh,
Drake were
Kilo.
stacked with work, so good timing for fast math. With both of
The
us being
blind
silent.
module, is
Sierra,
that a blind
Sierra.
alley or is that a break?
There was a blind alley, yeah.
That is a blind
The
alley.
one under the
Okay.
painting.
Yes.
Finish. Stage 14
And we
is a
have
5.
13 modules
Bitwise
solved.
and
Darkstorm Legends
please.
is way ahead of half of the bombs solved
Lord, I
now.
just need to confirm something.
Yeah, go ahead, Logic.
The second subcommand in the top one was and, correct?
Yeah, both of them in the top one is and.
And then left, right. I have your logic then.
Yep, go.
Double false.
Solved. Stage 15 is a 2.
And that is another solved
Okay, that makes me
module.
done now. Drop your
6
hand.
modules ahead. 1 minute.
No. I'll
40
get
behind.
you on something else.
We see a
Plumbing, yeah.
Chrome notification on the left screen there.
Into green blue.
That can be distracting.
Okay.
It can make the
Oh
difference.
yeah, I see that.
Yeah, if you do happen to see the screen kind of black out there, I did try to edit all of those out. Apparently I missed one in the process, so apologies to Zakiel on that.
Yeah, do blind and then do RPS unless it's...
I can only cover the timer.
The timers are now almost 2 minutes apart, but Darkstorm Legend has 1.5 times as many solved modules. So
Yeah.
it's looking
So
like
that's
they're going to
better.
make it despite the strike.
Well, fingers crossed, right?
Actually, when you're done with one of those modules, tell me, because you're going to be on Mafia. Change your plan.
Yeah, Mafia leaving for the end was a bit iffy. But you always have that kind of situation with,
Right,
you know,
so 0,
on
1,
the
1,
spot.
0, 1, 0, 1, 0.
Indeed.
So
Planning
Mafia has not been
plan
tackled by
so
either
far.
side yet.
Kat, have you solved?
Or at least not solved
either
yet.
Blind or RPS yet?
Not yet. Almost done with Blind Alley.
Okay, TW, RPS LS is scissors. Kat, when you've done that blind, I'll get you on that Mafia.
Painting is ready.
Painting?
Okay.
Painting.
Blue and gray swap.
Blue and grey swap, no.
Now I do find it interesting, it sounds, excuse me, it sounded there that
Purple and black. Yep.
Legend, based on kind of how the flow is going, decided to change up who had been assigned some things mid-process there. Which,
Stage
I mean, the
18
teams
is
did
a-
have the bombs ahead of time and could sort of
Can
plan,
you do a Caesar sign
but
for me? Bravo, Delta...
it's
Well,
important
I
to be
mean, here we
flexible.
have a saying that you make plans and life lasts with them,
Middle,
so,
solved.
you
Stage
know,
19 is a 7,
not to
9,
that
6,
serious
7,
extent,
9,
but yeah, on the
6,
spot
8,
it's always a bit iffy, and you miss one
Yeah, this is
one
BNSA,
module, and then it's like, oh
Okay,
wait,
just
Mafia
solved.
takes longer time.
I
Okay,
did
and
see
now
it.
with only 3 modules
Stage
left,
20 is
for
an 8.
Darkstorm Legend, Iris's
Kat,
Irish Wristwatch Washes
Mafia
is
Has only
of the bombs
half.
still left to
Clara,
go.
That makes me very pleased.
Will, Kate,
And you will notice that
Brian,
IWW did
Tim,
get a strike
Walter.
on. I'm afraid I didn't notice
They
which
did.
module it was.
I missed that,
Okay, wonderful.
but yes,
That
they do
they
have a
did.
strike.
Paper and lizard.
Paper and Lizard, solved. Stage
Paper and
21
Lizard,
is
we've
a
got
3.
that.
Yeah, it's
It's
literally
2
just that
modules
Mafia.
left, the Mafia
So take
and
Yes.
the Forget-Me-Not.
Can I just say praise
So now everybody
Yeah, no.
needs to wait on the Mafia before the Forget-Me-Not can be entered.
And of course, I was totally not under pressure, right?
Of course not.
Obvious.
Only reason why I get out of bed.
We're all professionals here, aren't we?
If I remember correctly, my Mafia rule there was innocent if exactly 2 out of the 3 people meet their innocent conditions.
Yep.
And
I said stage 21 was a
those
3,
3 people's conditions were either all due to related to edge work or modules on the bomb. Now I don't remember which one it was.
I see. Well, there have been a lot of complaints about these rules in Mafia where you need to check rules from 3 other people. So there are plans at the moment to change those rules. And here we go, Forget-Me-Not.
Okay, great.
Yeah, Mafia was
Yes,
done,
so-
only 2-second difference for both teams actually.
So I was going to say,
Okay,
so
good.
if you're watching this
9,
like a
5,
week or a month later, it may be the case that the
4,
rules of Mafia have changed
5,
since.
8,
Here we go, Forget-Me-Not. We've
3,
got
6,
10 digits
3,
correct.
4, 9,
We've
8,
got
7,
15
15
digits correct.
9, 4.
And
Finished.
the bomb is
12
solved.
minutes and 10 seconds left on one
With
strike.
12 minutes and 10 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, and IWW has only about 2/3 of the modules
Yeah, that
solved.
is our best
And
time.
2 minutes to do it.
The Mafia answers were different. Were they now?
Wait, what?
Was there a strike in? It could have been where there was a strike involved. I'd have to double check my two output logs on that one.
If
Zekio.
the strike was earned on Mafia, then that would certainly explain it.
Uh,
Alright, because if the strike was on Mafia, then the names change, right?
That's correct. The entire module resets to an entirely new puzzle.
so yeah, so DSL did solve the bomb first. However, their time was 12:10. So technically, IWW, they can manage to get 6 modules in a minute. Could pull this one off.
Which is a bit.
It's a tall order though.
They're trying their best on the iPhone, but it's not looking plausible. Composers? No, that's the band. And the Tinder. At this point, it would be great if we had the audio. Such a shame that we don't.
Indeed.
But that's
However,
the world of
the stream
technology
can enjoy
for you.
our beautiful voices instead, which is
10 seconds
still
left.
quite something.
Indeed.
5 seconds left. And I guess at this point, the winner
And we
is
have
Freya.
we have the first bomb.
Yep.
1 down, 2 to go.
So
with
since
6
this bomb
modules left
is
to go-
since this bomb is the outcome is determined, I am speeding up the IIWW in there. I do want to show off how theirs finished up. You'll notice that they took a different route to get the correct answer for resistors there.
Yeah.
Indeed.
However, because it used that lit F4K rule that does not come up, doesn't really come up all that often. There's
Yeah.
a little bit of trepidation and double checking before doing anything with that.
That is fair. I didn't see what solution the other team entered for that same resistors.
We did whichever was, I believe it was through the top, and then C and D together.
You connect C and D, okay.
Yeah.
That is the easiest to communicate to if you
Another
the second strike
strike.
on big circle. That is costly.
Yep. This
And
point,
that's somewhat the reason why our team went with doing big circle first. It's also like module dependent, so like other module dependent or number of modules solved dependent mods.
Though to be fair, it is the last module before Forget Me Not. So
Perhaps
but
that
it
was the
does-
idea then.
it does keep all of the experts waiting. And here we go with the answer, and there we go. What is the time
3
on the
minutes
clock? I didn't see
52.
it.
352.
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Uh,
52.
now, you may notice
That is-
a little small thing that Zach did. I did actually warn the teams early in the competition that, feel free to practice them, feel free to put in dummy scores. Because you'll notice, after finishing, Zach immediately goes to the leaderboard and sees where Legends team, what their best time was. Which happens to be the time that they earned for their official run. So, kind of a clever way of spying on the competition, which is fully acceptable within the rules.
Yeah, because you still don't know if that's the official run or not. I remember for probably semifinals, we had something like 13 left or 14 minutes and something left. Then during the actual bomb, it was only 10 or 11. So.
Indeed. Now for Darkstorm Legends, their leaderboard shows only their own score. That means they know that at this point the Iris's Irish wristwatch washers weren't finished, but they also know that they had an early strike. So they still don't know if the others might have closely beat their time by having fewer strikes. So
I do remember them discussing that as well when it came to bombs 2 and 3. And,
Alright,
and the teams, I will mention that Darkstorm Legends did do all 3 of their bombs prior to Iris's team finishing theirs. So DSL did not know whether or not bomb 2 and 3. They don't know that. Neither team knows the results after anyone for sure.
Yeah.
I'm a complete idiot. I really thought they were playing at the same time, and
Oh no.
of
Oh,
course
no.
not. Of course they did not.
No.
So
The
that
magic
is-
That
gets free.
exciting first bomb out of the way. Here we go.
Yep. So we've got the first one knocked out. DSL has their little icon up there to indicate one win. And now, assuming that I can get off full screen, let's go ahead and pull up the second bomb.
Taking a nutshell.
And let's watch
And
this
here
one
we
go.
go with the second bomb
Hello.
for the Model Team Finals.
We have got a couple
3,
of
2,
rates
1.
of radiators
Lights
here.
on.
My needy is Hex.
Are
and
all the
there
modules
is no
included?
big
Mark
circle.
asks.
Was it?
Not all of them. The team's got a list of which ones were possible on this one. It wasn't all, but it was a heavy number. Now
Yeah,
this,
the only guaranteed one was Forget Me Not and something else.
and some needy on this one.
Alright, 1 out of 3 needies.
Yep.
Forget Me Not, and then usually it was 4 out of have a somewhat of a list, and then 4 of have somewhat of another list.
Now you also may notice this bomb only permits 2 strikes instead of the standard 3. So definitely have to be a little more careful on this one than the others.
Did you say Bravo 3? That is another red star pressing next.
And here we have the first module activation
A
for
red
the
diamond
Irish
pressing next.
wristwatch washers.
Delta 5 on Hex.
Delta 5. 213.
213.
Yeah.
Thank you very, very much. Continue on.
And
Bravo.
that's a successfully delayed needy.
Bravo 2 is empty.
Now, they had 3 options for which needy popped up here. It could have been either hexadecimal, rotary phone, which it was in the semifinals, and all of the teams were kind of worried about seeing again. Or
Alpha 2 is another red diamond pressing next.
the third option was a random number generator.
Should be Delta 1 next now.
The nicety of hexadecimal, aside from being one, it's easier than rotary, but it does have that advantage that you don't submit it, you let the clock run out. So it doesn't pop up quite as often as some others.
Charlie 2 is up. Also, Hex 0 Charlie.
12.
I see we have another fast math on this one.
Yeah,
So another plumbing.
Charlie
And the plumbing.
Also, somewhat anticlimactically, there happens to be 2 radiators that popped up on this particular seed. Obviously, they're going to have the same answer since they're on the same bomb.
So that makes life a little bit easier, finally.
So we have our first solved module and the second one closely following.
Got it, go ahead.
So True Love for Darkstorm Legends.
Lima Echo, Papa Lima, Papa Mike.
Got you.
There are 2 connection checks.
Light cycle ready in just a little bit.
Yep. Oh yeah, sure. I gave you a
Model
blind
leader. Jason Letters, Mouse and the Maze.
Echo
So
3.
we see
all three,
Legend navigating the mouse in the maze, and he found the green sphere in a cul-de-sac. But he ooh,
27.
and there is a blue sphere.
Thank you.
Double
Got your
27
numbers ready. I'm going to figure out your rule as we go.
Oh, okay.
And the
also,
white
light yellow,
Taurus.
a white Taurus, please.
and a white Taurus
White
indeed.
Got it.
Light speckle is ready.
And the yellow sphere. I've never seen that many spheres on the same module.
Ready?
Yep.
Okay. Green, blue, magenta.
Green.
Oh no, the colors are in reverse order, which
Blue is
means
Ooh.
ooh, and blue is a strike. We have the
First
first strike,
strike.
while Irish wristwatch watchers have their first soul. On
So
which module
First
I
2
missed, but
salts.
the second one is on Bitwise Operations.
yeah, their first one was on adjacent letters. Surprisingly, another one that's fairly error prone when you're in a rush.
Okay, so stage
Indeed.
4 is a
So this
Yeah,
makes
I've
the
never had that much difficulty with that
I
module.
think those
No.
those
now interestingly, this is the second straight bomb of the 2 that DSL
yeah, that's fine.
has gotten the first solves as well as the first strike.
Yeah.
One could draw a correlation there, perhaps. Maybe rushing a little bit, but
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, the more you do, the more errors you're statistically prone to get. The only question is, how much does that pay off? And now Iris is leading by a module.
3 liters.
Okay, yep.
Indeed, they caught up.
5, then
The blank module on this one, is it a blind alley again?
Then 8. Okay. Stage 5.
Yes, this one was also a blind
Yes.
alley.
The next one, 25. And
Braille was actually vetoed by the teams for this competition. Oh,
Something blew me up.
Did the
And
an
kaboom.
explosion? I did not
Oh,
see that
what
coming
was
at
the
all.
second one? I missed that.
The cause of explosion, what does it say? I cannot read it.
hexadecimal. The needy got him.
They missed the needy.
Oh,
That is
snap.
incredible.
So DSL blows up after just 5 solves, which means which they
Which
got
hurts.
indeed. Which means Irish needs 6 solves to win the bomb. They're already at 5, but they got to it slower, so they would need the 6th one. Plenty of options on there to get one more out of it, though.
Yeah. Connection check for one. But of course they do not know that, so they just go on in their regular.
And there we have it, 6 modules solved.
Yep, and that will give bomb number 2 to the Irish's wristwatchers.
Iris's Irish Network Washers.
Yes.
I mean, congratulations. But,
Yes.
so I've just now realized that there is a benefit to doing, like in Bomb 1, Elias, you compare that Darkstorm Legends went for more time-consuming modules first, while Iris went for easier modules first. So now I just realized there's the power of going for easy modules first. If you are exploding, if you are not finishing, this eventually means you have more solves. So not sure if that was Iris's strategy there or just a coincidence, but it might be a potential strategy for season 2 for some of the teams. I think for
Indeed.
Darkstorm Legends, the reasoning behind that was basically that let's just give usually it was me and Drake on the more time-consuming ones, and TW was more on the interactive stuff. So Legend gave us the time-consuming ones, so that while we're having work, while we're busy, TW can do those interactives and get those out of the way.
Indeed. Definitely a logical way to play it. You will notice I did speed up the IIWW since I have won this one. We do want to see how well they perform on this one.
So it's funny, however, to be fair, Iris's has way more of a blowout win than Darkstorm Legends did. So
this one was a bigger one, yeah.
And, seeing fast math solve in high speed is quite mesmerizing.
Indeed. Up to 15 solves. 16 and 17.
it seems there. Ooh, another strike or first strike
So
rather.
here's a follow the leader. Fun fact on follow the leader, there is a 0.1% chance, meaning 1 in every 1,000 bombs, that the first wire to cut is the only one and it will solve. So it would be amazing if that ever were to come up.
That's still not enough reasoning to do it interactively. And while overall methods of doing are a discussable point, but that's not the reasoning. Just in case.
Ooh.
Was
That is
there
a
an
second.
explosion on Hexamaze? That is incredible.
Oh.
We have both bombs. We have both teams stumped by the bombs and exploded.
My subjective heart is happy that they didn't finish either, even though if they won. It just gives a little bit more credit to Darkstorm Legends that hey, this bomb was tough. It was tougher for them way earlier than it was for Iris.
Yeah. Yep.
So
was-
regarding the scoring, then I take it that Iris still wins because I have more solves.
Yes, in case both teams detonated, it came down to who got more solves. In case if there was a tie in number of solves, it came to who got their most recent solve earlier. Luckily, it didn't go down to that level because that's a pain in the butt to find out via output log, but
Indeed. And with that clarified, we'll move on to the third bomb of the finals. And
So this
is
one
going to be
goes down to
a
the end.
tiebreaker.
This, I mean, it's supposed to be the finals, right? There's the hype, there's the intrigue, and
There is
holy
indeed.
cow, I'm scared.
There is indeed. Now, at this point, like I said, DSL did not know how IIWW did. They went into the third bomb, having heard them talk ahead of time. They felt it was very likely to be 1-1 at this point. Iris actually went into this thinking they'd already lost it. I did tell them that they needed to do the last one because they actually managed to get the last run in within an hour of the deadline.
Ouch.
So I made it very clear that they did need to do all 3 bombs to make sure that we did not have a victory by default, which would be a very
that feels like
anticlimactic win.
Exactly, especially for finals.
I do see the chat spitting out guesses. I've seen at least one guess for each team.
One on it.
Now, for this third bomb, it's actually a small bomb in comparison to the others. 11 modules only, so it's normal size bomb. No widgets, so no spending time searching around for that. The only oh no, that was for the oh no, I take it back. That's for the modded EFM semifinals, which are going on now. It is still an 11 module bomb. 10 minutes, and this was or 15 minutes. There we go. 11 and 15, 3 strikes, and they had no idea what was on this one.
Kat, who is your favorite for this round?
I mean, I am biased, aren't I?
Exactly.
To be fair, okay, so overall, across the season, Iris has been a hell of a competitor. And let's see, before the finals, I, of course, wanted us to win, but somehow I was thinking that Iris would possibly take the win. And especially, that might sound a bit more egotistical than I mean it, especially with me not being able to participate. It's not because it's me, but it's because we were used to having all of us mostly. Or at least, let's say it was either me and Drake as experts or all 3 of us as experts. And now, let's say, me being away, I would say it does fiddle with the dynamics. So they did have a chance for 1 bomb to do like that with this kind of team setup. So yeah, it's not because I look at, hey, I'm amazing, and therefore I'm worried because I'm not there, but it's just overall team dynamics and the feeling and the notion, yeah.
What you got, sir?
I do want, before we kick this one off, for those who haven't seen this, this is actually a spreadsheet of the performance of the 5 teams throughout. And we've mentioned, that they seem pretty evenly matched. If you actually look, in week 1, they had a bomb that they differed by less than a minute. In
Are you
team
showing
2,
that on the screen? Because I'm not seeing it.
yes, it should come up shortly for you.
Yeah, it's not. But go on.
I see
it's
it's
frozen.
frozen. Yeah, the stream sees it here. 1 second, let you guys see it as well. There we go. Yes, so you can see here in week 1, they had 1 bomb differ by 35 seconds. In week 2, they had a bomb differ by under 40 seconds. Week 3, they had a bomb differ by 7 seconds. I mean, throughout this entire thing, it was back and forth with very, very close competition. The finals, admittedly having balanced out slightly differently, still is coming down to, the very end. And regardless of what we see here in the last one, I do want to say both teams did an exceptional job. It was very enjoyable watching them play, and I look forward to seeing those players next time. And yes, we have the average Joes. Especially as we mentioned, since they lost members partway through to where it was a single expert in week 4 and the semifinals, it is amazing that they kept going, that they stuck with it.
Yeah.
I mean,
and a short thing, they went through all of their bombs instead of honorably or otherwise discharging mid contest. So
Yes, I mean there are, and I don't blame. We had a team, at least two teams. We had three teams that withdrew throughout the competition. Uh, Two of which because all but one member withdrew. So I mean they kind of didn't have an option there.
yeah.
The other one was down to two members who just could not sync up. So I don't blame those teams for it happens that sometimes things dissolve. Uh, but when it doesn't happen and you still stick with it, that just amazes me. And they did an excellent job as well. And as an added bonus, um, I didn't mention this at the beginning of this particular video, but each category does have a small $10 Steam gift prize. That prize, there's also an additional random one for some team that participated all the way through. So their sticking with it does benefit them in that they are eligible for that kind of consolation bonus prize at the end. So, alright. With all of that preamble, we have one last bomb to look at.
The hype.
The hype is real.
And let's see how things go.
There is a friendship and a gridlock that I can see in the dark.
Yes, this.
And the lights are
I'll
on.
get you on error codes immediately.
Yep, you'll see. This is actually all three bombs now have had a gridlock on it.
Unlit Sig,
All three bombs have also had a
Okay.
blind alley.
TI, PS2, and RJ.
None of that was
Add-
planned.
add, one more
Not
PS2 and add
directly. I mean, I did see the seeds ahead of time and could have vetoed it, but I didn't see them as being problematic.
2 RJ, 3 PS2, 1 RTA.
Oh, there's symbolic coordinates. I like this now.
Police is 3. Number
There's also
27, Alpha
the
Echo
specific
2,
title escapes my mind, but the
49,
flashing Moore's math,
Draco.
Color Morse.
color Moore's, that one.
After that, so woohoo, fun.
There's quite a few modules with similar names now. So.
There are indeed. Color Morse is not one that I usually keep in my repertoire, actually, due to the fact that the calculations become burdensome without a calculator.
Yeah, it is a bit challenging overall, but I mean, hey, it's the finals, right? Can't let them have it easy.
Next up, Gridlock.
Indeed.
No, taking neutralization first.
And we have our first solve from Darkstorm Legends. Once
So-
again, they're racing ahead. But as we know, that means nothing. Because sometimes they race ahead in the strike
Well,
department or even
I wouldn't say
explosion.
that means nothing, but
Yeah.
it's, yeah.
KOH on 4.
KOH.
And
Oh,
we have
and a strike.
already.
Ay, and a neutralization, which was usually, that was also with a cheat sheet, so usually just, boom, bang, and, we have it.
Yep. And that one sounded like they just messed up on their filter. So again, first to solve, first to strike. Also, both teams are working on gridlock at the moment.
I mean, hey, live hard, die young, or what have you. Not a good mantra to have, but a topical joke in this case.
Solid 1.
Empty.
Fucking wonderful. Bravo 1.
Down right.
Right, so Darkstorm Legends have two solves. Iris's Irish Wristwatchers
4.
have one.
Alpha 4 is right.
And yes, I
And
finally
they
said
have
their
a
full name.
solve.
Bravo 4
Two.
is empty.
And the second one. And they are ahead by 15 seconds. Yes, strike.
Oh, by the way, TW, with your gamepad, kindly double check your work. Drake, yeah?
Charlie 3.
Charlie 3, did you say?
Yeah.
Yellow star, pressing next.
That would be Delta 4.
Delta 4 is empty.
Fucking wonderful.
So apparently there was a hold up with the gridlock, which the Irish wristwatch washers went through like a breeze. Darkstorm Legends seem to be hitting a snag.
I have your gamepad.
We can see Irish now racing ahead with 4 souls against 2.
So,
I think that's what a strike means, especially in competitive. You just panic and double check everything,
friendship, right?
especially after the pre-last strike. Double check everything, triple check everything. Let's have an extra minute, but let's not DNF.
Indeed.
Okay.
Left, up, Bravo. Left, right, left, right.
Did they already read out the friendship? I would have loved to hear what
TW
names
symbolic.
or system they use.
Hands up
Having
means
heard it,
pinwheel.
they kind of use the
Aqua purple,
what I'll call the Discord
means
standard
friendship.
terms.
I have the blue magic
Indeed,
wand.
that's what I would
I
have
have
expected.
the,
Okay, so we see
hourglass.
DSL has caught up on the 4 souls, but
But-
here's Iris
Ew.
with the 5th one.
Yeah,
Indeed,
they're
Zachiel.
Half of the
DSL is
bomb.
almost about 40 seconds behind, give or take a couple.
Musical note star.
Audio would have been amazing. Yes, Zachiel, it would have. Yes, King Bran, it would have.
What was the question?
Uniform 7.
Zachiel in chat mentioned that it would have been nice to have audio on both ends.
Moons.
And I was certainly not calling anyone out for that.
Right, so you found the colourful thing.
Okay.
The hat, the pink hat.
I mean, you can't really play both audios at the same time, can you?
Right.
Oh.
I mean, in theory you can, but it's not very effective.
Yeah.
It would be awesome
Wouldn't do
if
both, but it
Twitch
would be
had a
able to switch
feature where you
between them.
could Switch between them exactly.
Okay, hands
And
up
we have a
with
button
pinwheel,
sequences
green,
on the 4th
purple,
panel already.
yellow. Right, I have the,
Yeah,
purple
so
one.
Iris is up by a module and 50-ish seconds. Which does concern me.
Yep, I got you.
And we have the 6th
And
soul.
the silver coins.
Oh no, I don't like where this is going.
Oh.
Left.
Sorry about that. Okay, my notification's off now.
Symbolic.
Foxtrot 2.
Foxtrot 2.
No worries.
Okay, finished.
We'll edit it out in the final cut.
Out of
Editor's cut, right? Or director's cut, rather.
and hourglass.
Okay.
One is highest up.
Colourful.
Colorful star, I got it. And out of hat, out of shillings, and out of moon with stars, which one is furthest left?
It is the hat.
Got you. And that's
No,
Okay,
that was a
2
Super Metroid
modules, a difference, minute
No,
and 8 seconds of time.
compassion,
Its ship is also stumping the Darkstorm Legends here.
consideration,
Yep, consideration.
Consideration is there, and this is correct.
Button
Yay!
sequence is great.
stand by.
Only 1 module.
Go ahead.
And looking at what the teams have left, IWW has Tic Tac and Symbolic, a little time consuming. Color Morse and Friendship also not the quickest ones there.
Yellow
DSL has button sequences that they're knocking out. Also has the Color Morse, Bitwise, and Tic Tac on the other side, as well
And
as
1 more should be.
I don't think they finished the Blind Alley as well.
Right.
White circle poker.
Next.
Red square delta.
Tap.
Okay. White hex alpha.
Tap.
White square papa.
Color Morse being
Next.
attempted, and we have a 7,
Next.
9,
White hex
Ooh.
delta.
and a
A
strike.
strike for Iris! I mean, I'm sorry guys for being happy, but, you know, stakes and stuff.
Yeah, that'll lock the clocks back in sync. Minute 25 difference
Okay, one
to deal with.
color morph.
Yeah,
And
that
the
early
button
strike
sequences
is
is
still
done.
Yeah, I won that one.
Blind Alley. Here we go. Bang!
Color morph.
And the number of souls is
Green
close out. Now let's
multiplied
see.
by bracket.
still
Let's
minute
see Dark
25
Legends.
behind.
Close.
25 behind, yes. Friendship.
Oh, second strike for
Strike on
Iris!
fairness.
Yellow.
Oh no. We know
Oh,
that
that might
consideration
change
is the right
now.
answer. We don't know what went wrong.
Dot dot dash dot. Which is Foxtrot, I believe.
Uh,
So,
Perhaps a moon was incorrectly identified?
also,
So there are a few of those.
Tic-tac-toe after this TW.
You
And
are
now
right, there are two that could be called the moon with a star.
Okay,
Even though one
We're
of them is
back
of
in
course
the game.
Moon Dancer.
09,
The other one is
08,
Trixie.
up next X.
Alright, you should know.
Cheers.
Alright.
Will there be a second attempt on the friendship?
Yep. So we see IIWW taking their time, kind of going back over it, seeing what went wrong there. As chat said, surprisingly close. It is very close. Yes, I don't know if I would say
It is much
surprising.
closer than it was in the beginning. So
This is a reminder.
This is the way you
finals
want to
down
see a
to the
final.
second. Yeah.
7-9. Here we go.
Well, the bomb perhaps is not as directly challenging.
7-9-7.
First
Yeah,
two.
it's a tic tac toe.
Oh, and the difference is now just a minute and five
Okay.
from
Yep.
almost a minute and a half.
Yep. II's second strike is letting them lose that extra thanks time they had.
And they're gonna be way more paranoid and double checking, or perhaps even triple checking their inputs.
Finish.
Indeed.
Right.
Ooh,
DSL
More
two.
module left for
Seven, we
Dark
have
Star
seven.
Legends. Oh, come on. Oh, did they
Oh
kaboom? Did Iris kaboom?
no, they did.
What-
They struck out on the tic tac,
What-
Oh,
It was the
snap.
tic-tac-toe.
which they
That was
struck
their
out at.
demise.
That
Well,
struck out at
Which-
nine
wait,
modules.
So
They had
we
9.
have 10 modules. Oh, we
Which-
have 10 modules. So we won!
Yes, with that, Darkstorm Legends does come out as the winner of this competition. I've sped it up to see if they successfully make it through the tic tac and what sort of time they have.
with 2 minutes left, it seems the tic-tac should...
Uh,
1 minute 47. That
Which-
would look like a really bad result overall.
Yes, when Darkstorm Legends finished that one, they sounded defeated. They felt that they definitely had lost on that. But a couple tricky strikes for the Irish team, and DSL comes out to be the winners in this season's competition. So congratulations to them. Congratulations, Catnip, as a member. Congratulations to IWW. They put on an excellent show and an excellently tight match there at the end.
Yeah, well done for both
Indeed.
teams. I
Well done, both teams, indeed. And
also if
here's to more of this fantastic competitive bomb defusal.
Indeed.
and also if I may rant a little bit, great job for Elias. I mean, I have never tried KTANE organizing, but I filled it with some other video games, and that requires a lot of effort, a lot of devotion, a lot of time, and a lot of mental power and time and all of those things. And considering, yeah, we might complain that there were like, oh hell, so many widgets. However, it's so annoying with these modules. But everything was thought out. And just to prove that, yeah, all the modules on the widget bomb needed to do with widgets and things like that. It just shows that Elias did put a lot of effort and thought and heart into it. So very well done and very, very much thank you. And looking forward to the season 2.
Thank you very much there, Kat. This one, like you said, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes on this one. But it's very worth it. It's very fun to see the end result and see the teams enjoying themselves playing through these. Despite the whining and the bitching occasionally, you can tell that they have fun or they wouldn't stick with it.
Indeed. I concur wholeheartedly with Katnip's sentiment. It is a shame that I couldn't participate in this league because it overlapped with another commitment I had. But maybe next season, if I can find a team, you might see me on the other side of the bomb.
And for those who are interested, we still do have the modded EFM category. The semifinals end this week, finals end next week. So we should be seeing a results show for that one probably 2 weeks from today. At which point I'm going to take a little bit of time off. I know that Royal Flush is planning a competition. I know that Timwee has discussed the possibility of competition. So as to not cause burnout, we'll kind of limit it to, one major thing at a time. I may run like a little short, quickie tournament to test some of the potential changes for Season 2, which I'll let you two know about as well, since both of you have shown interest. Category-wise, we are probably dropping the Vanilla EFM. That one just did not have the interest level. The vanilla team category is going to be using the rule modifier next season. So it won't be as simple as having everything memorized ahead of time. For the
And
modded, go ahead.
Elias.
what's rule modifier is like when Hummus made a completely new manual?
Yes, that sort of
Okay.
idea.
So like principle of the
Elias.
solving, but not those rules.
Uh huh. Yes, Timmy.
Elias, could I ask you to turn just to save some of my data usage? Thank you.
Um. Uh.
Rule modifier for vanilla?
Yeah. Rule modifier for vanilla team. The modded EFM category. I'm gonna let the actually for both of the modded categories, we're gonna move away from the time-based 100-point system we did this time, and each round will simply be a head-to-head. So in week one, DSL may play IWW. In week two, they may play the Average Joes. In week three, they may play the Voice Crackers, and it'll just be a flat win-loss ratio across the weeks. A lot of people said that they wanted to try that one out for the second season, so we'll give that one a go. Kind of compare the first season to the second season, see which one we like better. So yes, it'll be round robin style.
Oh. But okay, so it's still sort of group format rather than, oh, you lost, so you're out.
Yes, it'll be round robin, or I guess Swiss might actually be a more. Oh no, round robin.
Just
will be more
pure
accurate.
wins or losses, and then whoever has more of which.
Yep. Unlike this season, where a lot of the bombs were broadcast ahead of time, for example, EFM, since they're about to do theirs, they know their third bomb is 0 widgets, and they know what 10 modules are going to show up. Next season, there's going to be a whole lot less information ahead of time. You'll know module count, time count, strike count, and that's pretty much it. The idea is I'm going to give a pool of eligible mods. Each week I'm going to add 15 to 20 mods into that pool, and it's just going to pull something from the eligible pool at that time. So you can kind of pick up, which ones you need to learn each week, but you're not going to know necessarily if they're going to show up or not. So the bombs will be a whole lot less. You won't be able to plan them quite as well, which I think will lead to a little less practicing and probably a little more on the cuff planning from the teams.
That sounds interesting in a good way.
It'll definitely be a little different, and we'll see how the teams like it. And like I say, first couple seasons, try a couple different things, find out what works best, and we'll run from there. Also, one of the biggest issues we've had this season is scheduling. I've had to be present at every bomb that gets done, or Rex Kicks, who has also TD'd some of the matches, has been present at some of them. That's a lot of work. And for people who are on the other side, they may be like, oh, I'm going to do a bomb at noon, which turns out to be midnight my time, and Baby has decided that it's a grumpy night. So for the next season, we're looking at automating that process. You log into a website, you're like, here, give me this seed, it gives you the test, you confirm it, then it gives you the proper seed, and you have so long to upload an output file. So the next season should be a little easier to schedule things because you don't have to necessarily coordinate with a tournament director. Still got to coordinate with your team, but that should be a little easier to do, I think. But we've hit the hour that I had scheduled for this. So I think we're going to wrap up. Catnip, do you have anything else you would like to add or say before we finish up?
Question, I guess, to you. Will you need any volunteers and, announcing that crowdsourcing part?
I very well may.
With help.
As we get a little closer to sign up time and then run time, I will definitely ask for volunteers in the League Discord. If you do not have a link to the League Discord, I'm hoping somebody will grab it because I don't currently have Twitch up. I'll shoot that in the Twitch chat here in a minute, if able. But I'll post something in there as we get closer to needing.
There's the invite link to the League Discord.
Thank you very much, Catnip. So yeah, you can join that and keep up to date on the progress and results of the ones that we have had, and upcoming notes, discussions about future seasons, and what you can do to help out if you'd like to. I'm also very earnestly listening to suggestions. I've taken couple of them already, but to heart, and made some changes. So if you have any thoughts that you'd like to see different, definitely mention those there as well. All right, thank you very much, Kat. Timwe, do you have anything you would like to speak before we wrap up?
Well, of course, I would like to thank you, the ultimate tournament director, for organizing all of this. Thank you for letting us in on this exciting last round of the modern team category. And I hope to see you all again in the next season. Maybe as a player, maybe as a commentator. We don't know yet. We will see.
Alright, guys. So, from our commentator team, it's been Catnip, Timwe, and I'm Elias. Thank you all so much for watching. In the meanwhile, go out there, play some bombs of your own. Have fun with it. Take care,
Bye.
guys. Bye bye.
Bye bye.